Hey crafty people! Welcome back to my channel, and in case you're new here, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. I do paper crafting, card making, junk journaling, and mixed media art. Let's get crafting! Welcome to my channel. In case you're new, for every month in the year 2026, what I've been doing is picking a craft product type thing from my stash to use and focus on in the month to hopefully use a lot of my stash, or at least some of my stash. And June has been junk, and so one of the items of junk I have in my stash, and it's outgrown its container, so we need to use some of it, is Inky paper towels. So when I clean up ink with a paper towel and end up getting pretty colors on it, I save the paper towel to use in my crafting. So I'm gonna show you what I like to do with them. Let's find some ones we want to play with, because I was flipping through it earlier and I saw a couple I was thinking I might like to use. Like, let's grab that one. I like that one. This, I either did part of it on something or I don't know what was going on, but let's pull that out and finish that one off. I may need to potentially throw some out so that I can get the lid to close back on there, but all right. So first step with paper towels is most paper towels are 2-ply, so you're going to want to separate the plies. This looks like it's 2 pieces, or nope, that's, yeah, okay. Then grab the glue of your choice. And I like to use matte medium. You can also use gloss medium, Mod Podge, collage medium, whatever kind of liquidy glue you like. I wouldn't recommend like your glitter glue you're going to end up using a ton to stick it down. Whatever kind of like collage medium type glue you like. Grab a little spatula. We're going to glue it to the paper to make it firmer. And I don't mind if I get wrinkles, just adds to the interest. There was apparently some color on the mat that I just lifted up. All right, for the spot that there was a rip in the paper towel, and so I've got a big empty spot, I think I'm just gonna snip a piece off the excess over here and glue it on. Okay, while it is still wet, what I want to do is add a little bit of glitter, because that adds some fun sparkle to it. Now I'm going to add some more medium over top just to make sure it's embedded, and it helps spread out the clumpy bits. I'm going to set this aside and let it dry, and I'm probably going to do a few other ones, but this is the basic process. And then what I tend to like to use these for is to die cut them out and use them as die cut pieces. So I'm gonna let this dry, maybe do some die cutting, come back and we'll do something. Not sure what yet. Okay, so I figured out what I want to do to demonstrate using the inky paper towel pieces that we are making. I've got stuff still drying. So while it's drying, we're gonna work on, I've decided to do a spread in my Dina Wakeley ledger journal. Just trying to make some room because I got so much stuff out on my desk. It's a mess. And I'm probably only gonna do one of the 2 pages today in this video because I don't have enough time to do a full 2-page spread today because I'm going up to St. Augustine. This is filming on Friday. This is going to be Tuesday's video, but I'm going to be in St. Augustine all day on Saturday. So that is going to create a bit of a problem for me getting everything filmed and done. Now, for spacing purposes, I'm going to start with my Lavinia stamps that I want to have as the focal pieces on each page. I'm going to do both. This way, when I do the inking, I'm probably going to spill over into both pages. And I don't want, I want to keep the centers lighter. And so I want to, like, around the images. So I want to know where that is. So we're going to stamp them, and we're going to stamp them with VersaFine Clair. I think I'm going to use probably Nocturne. Oh, and I prepped the pages already with a thin coat of absorbent ground, and then I put washi tape down at the center just to protect my other pages. And I'm going to grab VersaFine Clair in Twilight. And I've got a dog who now desperately, of course, wants to go out, and we're going to stamp it. Oh, this is the first time I'm using these stamps. So they're not new Lavinia stamps, but they're new to me stamps, and I'm very excited to be playing with them. So we're going to be doing underwater scenes. I think I said that. So I'm going to put him right there. We're going to press down. And I am actually going to be stamping this again on one of the inky paper towel pieces. So if it's not perfect, it's okay. I did kind of want to get some of the skinny bits from his tendrils on, just because those obviously I'm not going to be fussy cutting out. And so that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and stamp her. And his name starts with a J and has an R in it. And I always think of Jafar, but it's not Jafar. I will leave the name down in the description box in case you're interested. I do not have enough room on this desk right now. I got too much stuff floating around. All right, let's do her. I feel like I want to put my mouse pad underneath to lift this side of the page, the book, up a little bit. Boy, I really should have cleaned some space before I started. Pretty good for the first time stamping a clear stamp. All right, let me hit it with my heat tool, and then I'm gonna let the dog out. Okay, I think we're good to go. And what I have pulled out is my Liquitex acrylic inks to play with. Looking at this, trying to make sure it's... Oh, there we go. And I forgot something. All right, I've got paintbrushes, I've got the acrylic inks, I've got water. I want to start with, I think I would have used yellow, but I don't have any yellow. So we're going to go with this green in the center to create a lighter spot, and then do it darker towards the edges. is what I'm thinking. Let's just add some water and grab a brush and move that around. Because I kind of want to make sure they're kind of highlighted. So I pulled a bunch of undersea colors from my stash of acrylic inks. Not that I have all that many of them, but most of them are oceany because I like blues and purples and greens. So that's what I tend to buy when I buy things in open stock and such, right? Let's see, I've got Turquoise Deep, Turquoise, and Phthalo Green Blue shade. And I'm not entirely sure what these colors look like. Like, I don't remember from the last time I played with these. So let's try some turquoise next. And then, I don't know, we're just gonna play around. Drops of the Turquoise Deep. Let's close them up so we don't spill them everywhere, because that's something I would do. All right, let's add some water and get them moving around. And maybe do a little tipping of the paper. I didn't have everything like on top of it. Oh my God, way too much stuff on my desk. Let's try and get, oh, that got too much in the center there. All right, let's grab paper towel. Blot. Kind of liking the texture I'm getting doing that. All right, I kind of like that, except for the fact that it's of course I'm doing this and it's not like you're gonna see that because it's gonna be covered by the cutout. Although over here, let's lift a little bit more up over here and then we'll add a little bit more of the green back in. That's probably more than I needed of the green back in. Count the edges. want to add a little more of the lighter blue to kind of pounce around our edges. So, the one problem, my page is not liking the level of water I've put on here, so it's buckling inward. Okay, I think I'm gonna do pretty much the same thing over on the other side in anticipation of doing that page. And let this dry, and then I'll be back. Okay, so the pieces I did are all dry, and so this is, I think, the one I did on camera with you guys. And then I did several pieces off camera. So this one, because I realized after I did this one on this piece that the images I wanted to stamp were too tall, so just added a little more piece to the extra bit that was hanging up. I got this guy. This one, instead of adding glitter, I added some Lindy's Stampin' Gang Magicals, which have a little bit of sparkle to it, and some of the glitter got on here. But that's why you see like some random pink on here, is because the powdered pigments have multiple colors in them, so when you wet them, you get a variety of colors going on sometimes. And then I did another one of these because I'm going to use these two for my focal images on the art journal pages. And I did this lovely colored one. And then I did a piece of this on just a piece of plastic. I added it to make it sturdier because I think I want something with a little bit of translucency, so you can kind of see through it a little bit more than with the white background, for a piece that's gonna go on with the mermaid. So let's go ahead and do one of these on camera because I am gonna stamp on this. So I'm gonna grab my Misty. I think I want it to go that way. Just trying to angle it so I get the best amount of color on the piece. Or, oh, I think that'll work best. All right, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna add a magnet just to be on the safe side that this is not going to pull up. Okay, I think that's good. I'm not too worried about the little like tendrils because obviously I'm not going to fussy cut out these skinny tendrils, but I do want the two bigger ones. All right, that needs to dry. In addition to that, on here, I want to do some stamping and some die cutting. So I'm gonna stamp a few bits of like foliage type things to go in our background. I'm trying to just decide what might be good for fussy cutting out. I've got First Fun Claire in Rainforest, so a little smudgy, but it's okay. So I'm gonna fussy cut those out and die cut out of this, and then I will be back. Okay, I want my edges to be a bit darker than they are, to, you know, highlight the fact that this area is kind of glowing. But I don't want to add any more wet medium. My pages are already kind of warpy. So I've pulled out my pan pastels because I had them for ages and I hardly ever use them. So I'm trying to use them more. And I've got Phthalo Blue Extra Dark, Ultra Blue Extra Dark, and I think I might use some Turquoise Extra Dark, and possibly Phthalo Green Extra Dark. We'll see how it goes. I pulled out all the darks. Oh, maybe it's Payne's Gray Extra Dark right there. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a little bit of this. And I'm just going around the edges, kind of darkening up. Let's mix in some of that color. Because I really want to give the center that feel like it's glowing. So if I darken up my edges, the center will be glowy or more glowy, if that makes any sense. I need to clean off my finger and have a bit of a think because I kind of want to transition this in better. But I only bought like some lights and darks. I don't have any mid-tone pan pastels, so I'll be right back. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is add some of the light in. And yeah, I'm just using my fingers. And then take some of the darker color and blend them together on the paper. I think I like that transition a little bit better. And so I think that's done. I'm going to do a little bit over here while I've got everything out. Okay, I need to go wash my hands and deal with some dogs who are outside barking and spray this with fixative so I don't have to worry about it coming off. So I'll go do that and then I'll be back. I did not spray the fixative yet because I'm not sure how it and my ink for stamping are going to react with each other. So I think what I want to do is finish the page first and then spray it with some fixative. And toward the page when I was doing this layout on the other side. So let's glue that back into place. Let's take out some more Lavinia Stamps and do the stamping that I want to do. I'm just debating whether I want to use a stamping block or not use a stamping block. I think because we're kind of lumpy bumpy, I might be better off not using the stamping block. All right, I am going to use a mixture of Twilight and Rainforest in Versifying Clair to just add some more interesting texture in our background. Since I'm going for like background texture, I'm not too worried about it not being perfect. Okay, now I'm going to flip it over and do some coming down from the top. But it'll be easier for me to stamp it this way. Okay, I'm gonna let this ink all dry, and I am doing some die cutting, so I need to get all that together. So I'm gonna do all that and then I'll be back. Okay, so I have die cut out a whole bunch of stuff, stamped and fussy cut stuff out, and I got all kinds of bits and bobs to add to this thing. So let's start with getting our jellyfish in place. Now, before I glue them down, I want to come in and reinforce the squiggles that we got going on, some of which aren't showing up so well. And I refilled my fountain pen with blue, although I think the nib's going to be mostly too big. I think I've got, I'm going to hold up in front of me the image that came with the stamp so that I can kind of see what I'm doing. And I'm going to switch to my dip pen, which I seem to have, oh, there it is, to do the thinner lines. No, it isn't. Where did it go? I just had it. I just had it a minute ago. Oh, there it is. Okay, I think that's everybody over there that I want to do. I want to flip over to the other side for the mermaid. I started doing some of the fill-ins. Let's see. I kind of left a lot of the wingy, like the excess around the wings. Or I suppose fins since she's underwater. Hair, I do want to cut a little bit more off, but I was trying to figure out where the bits that need to get filled in are, since it did not stamp great. Like the seahorse stamped better than she did. And honestly, I can just wing it. So let me grab my scissors real quick and cut off the excess bits that I don't want, and then we can put her hair on. All right, so I know I wasn't going to do both sides, but I've done so much going across and die cut and all that, and Since I'm gonna need to spray fixative on it, I want it all done so that I can do the spraying of the fixative. We're just gonna go ahead and put her on. Now I stamped her on with a lighter blue ink. Then we're gonna add on these pieces, and then I can just extend whatever needs extending off of there. I'm gonna use some pastels for her. Let me put the top on this bottle of ink before I knock it over. And there's crying before bedtime because I've messed everything up. All right, let's glue her parts on. Okay, my idea to outline her to get rid of the white is not working quite as planned. Doesn't look great, but I think we'll be able to fix it. So let that dry and glue our jellyfish on over here. I think what we're gonna do next is add stuff on the bottom. So I die cut a whole bunch of stuff from our Inky paper towel pieces, and I used Sizzix and Tim Holtz's Wildflower Stems 1, which is 664163, Funky Nature 665215, Vault Funky Floral Wreath 666683, and Artsy Leaves 666380. But just use whatever florally, leafy type things you have. I think before I start gluing down, I'm gonna lay them out. And I had done just like the greeny, yellowy one like this, but I decided I needed some contrast in there. So I also did some purples to add in. So I'm just gonna kind of go through, lay out where I want to put stuff. Hopefully I am on screen because this sucker is big. Just barely. Let's pull out just a little bit more. There you go. And I did do a little bit of stamping and fussy cutting of another Lavinia stamp that I figured I liked that would work in here. So we're gonna add that as well. I'm gonna go around, lay it out, and then glue everything down, and I'm gonna speed this up because otherwise we're gonna be here for 3 days and I just don't have that much time. got my Stabilo Carpathello chalk pastels pencils, and we are going to hopefully fix her. I think I'm gonna try using my mono drawing pen to fix her face. It's a little bit better, but not much. All right, let me let my dog in. All right, here's what we're gonna try and do is actually, I think that's more of an improvement. Let's see, where did I put my brush? What I think I'm gonna try now is put a highlight on her face and upper hand. Yeah, that face got way far away from me. I'm really not happy with it. So I think I want to restamp it. But I also really don't have time. All right, let's put in the orbs. Let's glue those in. Maybe if I just leave her face alone and come back to it later, it won't upset me as much. I'm very bummed about how wonky that went. All right, so we've got that, and then I have a couple more to have like floating around. Grab my white pen. I do want to add more color to the skinny tentacles, so let's grab this guy. And lost my brush again. My desk is currently a disaster area. Okay, this pen, which I thought was waterproof, does not appear to be waterproof. No, the pen is reactivating. I'm not too mad at it, but we're going to stop adding water. Let's just use our finger to kind of get it more the feel of the color than the scribbles that I got going on. All right, that works. On him, I wanted to do, let's do white. Okay, now I am gonna add some stickles. And I'm gonna use a brush to add it. Now on this side, I want to add, I've got some, what is this? Tropical Tangerine. The purple I used was Grape. And I want to add this around the bubbles. We're also going to try adding a little on her, since the reflective glow. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop there. I will come back and show you what it looks like with the stickles done and maybe give you some closer looks. But otherwise, I think this is as much work as I'm gonna do on this one, because yeah, this is way longer than it was supposed to be, and I'm way behind schedule for getting this out on time. So this may be late. So I'll be back once it's all dry so you can see what it looks like dry. Okay, it's all dry, and I'm gonna give you a closer look. So, I really like how it came out. I hope this has inspired you to save your Inky paper towels and reuse them in your craft projects. So that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting!